How does it feel?
Feels good, doesn't it?
To hold one in your hand again.
Stay where you are.
If you're not gonna join me, I'd like to put my clothes back on.
Two hours later.
Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, you over 1 million hellions and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. Yes, we are going to see this through and talk about the Acolyte once again.
No!
It could be because we want to find out the answers to the well-crafted mysteries like, who was responsible for killing the lesbian space witches? How indeed did two women from the coven of lesbian space witches conceive twin daughters without a father? How do two identical twins separated for 16 years have identical haircuts? Who in the hell thought it was a good idea to give $180 million to former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland, to make a Star Wars show? Who thought it was a good idea to cast Amandla Stenberg, who put more effort and emotion into her diss track of Star Wars fans than in either of the two characters that she plays exactly the same way, that nobody cares if they live or die? Regrettably, we're not going to get an answer to some of those questions, but quite frankly, I'm here because I haven't laughed this hard in years. So let's see what, and forgive me if I haven't mentioned this before, former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland, has in store for episode 6 of a series that she calls the most important piece of art that I've ever made. Previously on The Acolyte.
The Jedi justify their galactic dominance in the name of peace.
In the name of the Republic and the Jedi Order!
You are under arrest.
Get down on the ground! Get on the ground!
Get on the car.
Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
Take him down.
After The Acolyte episode 5, 5s and 10s of the fans were rejoicing because something actually happened. Characters we knew little about and cared less about died amidst a lightsaber battle that had the same entertainment value and consequence as those videos of cats chasing laser pointers. And in one of the most obvious reveals in herstory, Smilo Ren is Asian Ezra Miller, who also happens to be a Sith. Diverse non-binary antagonist trades places with her sister, diverse non-binary protagonist, and it all culminates in the Jedi trap. In episode 6, titled Teach and Corrupt, a bit on the nose for Disney Star Wars, diverse non-binary protagonist wakes up after being knocked out by a force push for the second episode in a row. But this time it had to be more than that. It couldn't just be a force push, it had to be a force roofied. Not only did her sister, diverse non-binary antagonist, knock her out and then strip her naked and then put other clothes back on her, then she was found by Smilo Ren, a blanket was put over her, then he put her on a spaceship which took her to unknown planet on an island where she woke up. And yes, that island on unknown planet does look like it's on Octu, and Perry, don't you dare use that meme. And with Disney Star Wars, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility. Then I remembered,
I don't care.
that guy from Squid Game finally does what someone should have done last episode. He tries to contact the Jedi Council. Unfortunately, the connection isn't good, but to be fair to the Jedi Council, even if it was, I doubt they'd understand him. Please keep in mind the guy from Squid Game is now with diverse non-binary antagonist who's posing as diverse non-binary protagonist. Now, it's still in question whether or not Master Soul knows that diverse non-binary antagonist is posing as diverse non-binary protagonist, but considering that he's turned his back on his enemy twice, he doesn't sense the fact that she almost tries to kill him, and the only reason she doesn't is because he asked her to take the wheel. Stupid! Then the guy from Squid Game goes down in the ship to reset the communicator and does something no one's been able to do this entire series. Emote.
Emotional damage!
And because Disney Analytics dictates that you can't have any complex emotions in Disney Star Wars for longer than 2 seconds, we cut away to Space Beaver fixing diverse non-binary protagonist speak and spell. This brings us to a first we never thought we needed. If you thought lesbian space witch interpretive dance was bad, Star Wars' very first and hopefully last Me Too as Reylo fanfic scene.
The Sith reaches the edge of the placid pool. He unslings his bag from his shoulder and unpacks it, while Osha observes from a hiding spot in the rocks. As he begins to untie a belted knot from around his waist, she straightens up for a better look. He begins to undress, revealing a prominent scar on his well-toned back. Dropping his billowy-legged hakama pants, he steps forward with the sunlight accentuating his taut muscles. He wades barefoot into the pool. Keeping her predatory gaze on him, she lies in wait behind some rocks closer to the water's edge.
You know, I can hear personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland now. Write what you know. Now that diverse non-binary antagonist posing as diverse non-binary protagonist and diverse non-binary protagonist have switched places, now this is just speculation, but both had an opportunity to kill the men they were looking for and didn't, allowing themselves to be coerced or seduced by a corrupt, unjust, oppressive system that will eventually unite them in victimhood. Now, for the sake of our time and our sanity, let's get this over with, because Teach/Corrupt is essentially filler in an 8-episode series that averages out to $22 million per episode. It looks like the Jedi Council finally got that message. Jedi Master Non-Threatening Effeminate Male informs Jedi Master Nepo that he thinks Sol's entire team has been killed.
There were casualties. Who? It sounded like the entire team.
Finally, we get some urgency from the show when Jedi Master Nepo says the Jedi must leave immediately, but not before they have one more scene together before leaving Coruscant so they can make a little joke about Master Jedi Nepo's tummy getting upset in hyperspace.
I don't get sick. I find it unsettling.
The same could be said about this show. They arrive at planet Gobbledygook quickly, just missing that guy from Squid Game. More on that later. And the Wookiee Jedi Master Kelnaka's location that required days to find with a tracker was found pretty easily by Jedi Master Nepo and Jedi Master Non-Threatening Effeminate Male. Barely an inconvenience. And wow, they did get there fast. None of the bodies decomposed. They quickly assessed they were all murdered by somebody with a lightsaber. What gave it away? The lightsaber wounds? And this brings us to a pivotal scene. Remember in the trailer when you saw the lightsaber whip? That was used to kill a bug. And the wise Jedi Master Nepo, surrounded by the bodies of murdered Jedi with lightsaber wounds that are at least going to get buried now, has determined that something is amiss. Meanwhile, with diverse non-binary antagonist posing as diverse non-binary protagonist, she's spending her time with a sad soul after dealing with the communications breaking down that they fixed by resetting it and the ship breaking down that they fixed by resetting it. Now, the question is, was this sabotage? No, the ship just broke. This is followed by another cutesy silly Billy scene when Space Beaver attacks the woman who is directly responsible for the death of 2 Jedi and an accessory for the death of dozens. It's a roller coaster with these 2 ladies. Maybe a dad would have helped. Anyway, Sol finally figures out that May is posing as Osha and stuns her. And leaves planet Gobbledygook right when the Jedi arrived that he called. Also, he could put May in restraints to talk. And now, finally, we're gonna get the big reveal that they've been teasing all season.
I'll explain everything.
What did you do?
Please, Osha, I'll explain. It's time to make things right. It's time for me to face the High Council. To tell them everything.
Everything?
Well, we're waiting.
I've had 16 years to think about what I would say to you if I ever got the opportunity. So you're going to listen.
Next episode. Oh, and the whole Osha and Smilo Ren talking in a cave is filled with vague notions of the Sith, how it's about feelings. They talk about his helmet. No, not that helmet.
Kurtosis, handy against lightsabers, but also a sensory deprivation headpiece.
It blocks out all your senses?
I guess aside from seeing and hearing, but that's not important right now. They talk about a scar again, which looks like it came from a lightsaber whip. Does that mean that the master that rejected him was Jedi Master Nepo, or was it some other Sith Lord, or was it one of the lesbian space witches? And then I remembered,
I don't care.
The Sith Lord Asian Ezra Miller also mentions the power of 2, and I may be going out on a limb here, but whoever the real bad guy is, I'm guessing they're going to be defeated by
the power of many.
And in the dramatic final scene, diverse non-binary female protagonist puts on Smilo's helmet.
I can't breathe in this thing.
Will diverse female protagonist become an antagonist? Will diverse female antagonist become a protagonist for the third time? Will there be a Jedi with an above room temperature IQ? Will the Rotten Tomatoes audience score go up or down from 14%? Can a week go by without the corporate access media blaming the fans for a bad show? Your guess is as good as mine, but we'll find out on the next exciting episode of The Acolyte, a show that's a mystery box in a dumpster fire in space. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.